What you're seeing in this video is a woman at an Iranian university that apparently stripped down to her underwear in an act of protest after university security forces reportedly stopped her violently because she was not wearing her headscarf properly. Now, there's not a lot about the story that we do not know. The woman has not been identified. No one knows currently where she is, as we'll get to. But we do know that, and considering the context of Iran and the way they have cracked down on many groups, but nowhere more so than young women, what you saw there is the greatest act of bravery that one can imagine, beyond anything any American politician would ever conceive of doing in literally their darkest day. And so the video's been going around for the last couple of days. It's at the Azad University in Tehran. By the way, after that video, the woman is walking on the sidewalk, crossing the street. She's surrounded by security forces and seemingly pushed into a car. Now, there are stories that have come out of what has happened to her since then.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
We don't know if those stories are true. We don't know if those stories are out of date, but they say that she has been checked into a psychiatric center, because what the security forces often do there is imply that any woman who would do anything that they don't agree with, protest, feel like she should have the full rights of any human being, clearly is having some sort of mental breakdown. And so they bring her to a psychiatric facility. We have no idea if that's where she actually is. We have no idea if she is alive. If she is alive, we have no idea what has happened to her. But we do have some ideas based on the past couple of years of news coming out of Iran. And for that, I just say, thank God there are human rights organizations trying to find out about her. I am very concerned about her. But again, lots of bravery. I just hope that this story doesn't end as darkly as it might. Francesca, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think you're right to be worried considering, what tipped off the massive upswell of women protesting for their freedom and their rights under the banner of Woman Life Freedom a few years ago, which was, again, a woman stopped for not wearing hijab properly and then was taken into custody and died in police custody because of it. And probably because again, who knows? Maybe she was not complying in the way that we're so used to seeing police officers. Whenever they think that someone isn't complying with them, they get violent, right? This is an act of desperation and it's an act of heroism. I mean, she is an utter, unmitigated badass, and she might be dead. She might be being tortured right now, but she is going to, and she's already inspired so many women in that country and around the world, frankly. I mean, I think it's really amazing as women here in the United States who enjoy far more freedoms, although fewer every single day, see something like that. And I feel nothing but sisterhood and solidarity and think, man, if you can do that in one of the most draconian, anti-democratic countries, especially if you're saying something that goes against, what the powers that be want, then we can do that here as well. And I just want to say, I think that war generally just emboldens the right wing in every single country. It emboldens Bibi Netanyahu. It emboldens the right in Iran. It emboldens the right in the United States. Yes, the right of the Democratic Party and of course the right of the Republican Party. And I think we have to remember in Iran, these are people. These are people who have their own internal issues. They don't want to merely be focused on Israel or on external threats. They want to be focused on their own freedoms and their own human rights inside their country. That is their business, and we as people must support them and those freedom movements, again, without playing into an anti-Iran Islamophobic pitfall, sand trap that I think a lot of commentators and a lot of political thinkers can easily fall into.
Yeah, and you brought up, the protests. It's devastating that they weren't successful. Over 500 people died, tens of thousands were arrested, and you shouldn't need acts of bravery like this. There's minimal respect for our fundamental humanity. But this is what. By the way, many people might see this and think, that the guys, 99.999% of all of these involved in these stories are guys, are different in some fundamental way in Iran than elsewhere. No, they just happen to be in a country that gives them the legal and violent authority to do what some of them want to do. There are men like that in every country. Thankfully, in our country, they are not given that power right now. But there are definitely men that want to do that. The men who want to strip away your bodily autonomy, you think that that's it? That's all they want? That's all they want? The ones who are talking about ending no-fault divorce, that's all they want? Look, I don't know if maybe what you're seeing in this story is 10 years away or 30 years away, or Barron's kid becomes president and he's the one that finally institutes the security force. I don't know. But we're quantitatively different, not qualitatively, is how we would define that in academic terms. It is a spectrum, and I don't like to see any state on this end of it. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.